I don't see that there's a problem with eating rice only or quinoa only or potato only or oatmeal only, but I would still prefer you to combine multiple carbohydrate sources so you get a broad range of micronutrients and you don't develop a food intolerance because you're slamming one single carbohydrate source every single day, 6.5 days a week. Look into egg whites or pasteurized liquid egg whites, up to 10 XL egg whites per day or 450 milliliters. Pasteurized liquid egg whites daily. Don't do multiple servings of egg whites over the day, so you're eating 30 egg whites over the day. I don't think that's a good idea. And personally, I prefer freshly cracked eggs to get the egg whites over pasteurized liquid egg whites because it never really digested well for me. And I tried all of the different brands that are available here in Thailand, and I simply don't like the texture of the omelet once the pasteurized liquid egg whites are cooked. Whole eggs, up to 3 XL egg whites daily. Mostly has to do with the cholesterol content, even though some people prefer to eat 5 or 10 whole eggs per day, right? I'll leave it entirely up to you and your blood work results. Lean beef steak or over 95% ground beef, up to 500 grams or 18 ounces daily, but consider IP6 supplementation to inhibit iron absorption if you're eating multiple servings of beef per day. And feel free to combine that with beef liver, up to 60 grams, which is 2 ounces daily. Just keep in mind that 60 grams of beef liver already contains the upper tolerable limit of retinol, vitamin A, which is 10,000 IUs. So if you go over 60 grams beef liver per day, you might get hypervitaminosis A, which is in this case the retinol. Now, if you're also eating salmon or whole eggs, then I would limit the beef liver to 30 grams per day because salmon and whole eggs and other animal meat sources also contain vitamin A retinol. So you might have to mix match and go to the nutritional databases to see how much retinol you're actually getting in over the day. You can combine beef liver with ground beef for a perfect patty. Lean chicken breast or tenders, up to 500 grams per day. Lean turkey breast or tenders, up to 500 grams per day. Lean pork tenderloin, up to 250 grams, 1 to 2 times weekly. Salmon fillet, up to 250 grams or 9 ounces daily. If you can get Atlantic or Norwegian freshly caught salmon, you can afford this. Go up to 750 grams daily, which is 27 ounces, 3 or 4 meals, right? I'm not against that. A good amount of healthy fats is contained within, digests very, very easily, devoid of contaminants. But if you go with farm-raised salmon, which is significantly more affordable, cheaper, then I would limit it to 1 serving of up to 250 grams or 9 ounces daily. Sea bass fillet and tuna fillet, I would limit up to 250 grams, 9 ounces, 1 to 2 times weekly, mostly because it has reasonably high mercury content. Cod fillet, up to 500 grams, 18 ounces daily. Flounder fillet, up to 500 grams, 18 ounces daily. Tilapia fillet, 250 grams, 9 ounces, 1 to 2 times weekly. Most of the tilapia is farm-raised and, it tastes horrible, but if you want to have it every single meal, it's probably not a good idea. Shrimp, 250 grams, 9 ounces, 1 to 2 times weekly, but some guys eat it every single day. Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, a great source for protein, up to 500 grams or 18 ounces daily. This is probably the cheapest protein source you can get on this list after chicken. And if you mix in a scoop of whey protein, whether that's isolate or hydrolyzed, 1 or 2 scoops over the day, right? 1 scoop post-workout and 1 scoop into your Greek yogurt and cottage cheese, 450 grams from the yogurt or cottage cheese, plus 25 grams of protein from the whey. Man, that's a killer combo. Add some blueberries, and you got yourself set for a perfect dessert. Now, carbohydrate intake is mostly based on your macronutrient breakdown and your overall carbohydrate allowance. I don't see that there's a problem with eating rice only or quinoa only or potato only or oatmeal only, but I would still prefer you to combine multiple carbohydrate sources so you get a broad range of micronutrients and you don't develop a food intolerance because you're slamming one single carbohydrate source every single day, 6.5 days a week. You can look into white, red, or black rice, not brown rice, because brown rice has anti-nutrients that inhibit the absorption of certain micronutrients. White, red, and black quinoa. Rice and quinoa go very well together in a 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 ratio. We'll discuss that when we get to the cooking part. White or sweet potatoes or yams, right? Whatever you prefer. Steel cut or rolled oats, buckwheat, sourdough bread, fresh whole wheat pasta, not the old, dead, and dry pasta that you need to reconstitute by boiling it. Don't take that. Get the fresh one that's stored in the fridge that has a 1 week to 10 day expiration date. This one will digest 10 times better than the dead and dry pasta that you can get from a bag that has a 5-year expiration date. Trust me, I'm talking from personal experience. Fruit. Yes, it's not the enemy. Apples, bananas, berries, grapefruit, which actually contains cytochrome P450 enzyme inhibiting compounds. Mangoes, papaya, pineapple, watermelon, etc., etc., etc. And vegetables, beans, beets, carrots, corn, eggplant, peas, pumpkin, squash, etc. Great sources for carbohydrates. And again, if you want to mix in a couple black-eyed peas or red beans into your rice and quinoa combination, man, that will taste so good. Trust me. All right. Fat intake is also mostly based on your macronutrient breakdown and your fat allowance over the day after you've already decided which protein sources and carbohydrate sources you're going to take containing a good amount of healthy fats. Then you supplement with healthy fat sources on top. So you can add some nuts to your diet, innuendo galore, almonds, Brazil nuts, cashew nuts, hazelnuts, macadamia nuts, pecans, pine nuts, pistachios, walnuts, etc. Keep in mind that peanuts are nuts. They're peas, and they probably get preferably stored as intramuscular triglycerides. So if you overdo the peanut butter, then you're probably going to become insulin resistant. Seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, which actually contain androgen receptor antagonizing lignans. So don't overdo the flax seeds. Hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, watermelon seeds, etc. Great additions to your diet, also containing a good amount of micronutrients and fiber. Avocados, again, fatty animal meat sources like whole eggs, steak, salmon, sardines, roe, etc. Extra virgin cold-pressed oils, almond oil, avocado oil, coconut or MCT oil, macadamia nut oil, olive oil, walnut oil, right? There's a boatload of extra virgin cold-pressed oils out there. Pick the one that you like the taste of. Butters, no added emulsifiers, sugars, or fats. Go with almond butter, cashew butter, or walnut butter, not peanut butter. And then there's the occasional serving of cheese. Make sure it's real cheese, not cheddar. That's not real cheese. That's just pressed oil. And the problem with cheese is that it has a major acne risk. So don't overdo the cheese. If you want to have cheese on your cheat meals on Saturday or Sunday for lunch or dinner or both, go right ahead. And if you want to add a little bit of cheese to some of the meals because it makes it more palatable, go right ahead, but keep the serving portion low, right? Still good amount of healthy fat, even though a good amount is also saturated fat and cholesterol. So use it sparingly. Now, with all of the basics out of the way, you still need to learn how to cook, right? Right, and you only need 3 pieces of equipment. You need a rice cooker, you need an induction stove, and an air fryer. And maybe a microwave if you like oatmeal. But I think with these 3, you can get the job done. So you don't need to dish out on a super fancy kitchen with 3 aisles and a built-in stove with 200 functions to cook a turkey or a roast beef dinner. You can get it done with these 3. Now, before you throw in the towel and start dialing Uber Eats for your next meal, let me teach you exactly how to use these 3 kitchen appliances nice and easy. When it comes to the rice cooker, you can cook your white rice or your black rice or your red rice or a mixture of all 3, which is what I prefer, in the rice cooker alongside your white, black, or red quinoa in a 1-to-1 ratio or 2-to-1 ratio, all mixed together. Now you have 6 carbohydrate sources, and most of the time it's as simple as just throwing all of that in a container and then preparing that in advance. So all you have to do is do 1 scoop or 2 scoops of this pre-mixed various rices and various quinoas that you like to have for your meals. Then you add your red beans or white kidney beans or whatever you prefer into the rice to increase the protein content slightly. Add in your chicken stock or your beef stock, vertical diet style. I mean, this is a great addition, a great recommendation from Stan Efferding in the vertical diet made, well, almost a decade ago, I believe. When you add chicken stock or beef stock, low FODMAP, preferably to your rice and quinoa combination, it digests beautifully. You put this in the rice cooker, in the steamer tray. You can put your meatballs, your vegetables, and maybe even eggs if you want to. You can cook all of this at the same time in 30 to 45 minutes. There's no excuses. If you don't know how to use this rice cooker, now you know you can prepare an entire day's worth of meals in advance in the rice cooker in 30 to 45 minutes. With the induction stove, you can basically make your omelets in the morning or cook your steak or your chicken tender or your pork tenderloin or your salmon, even though I prefer the air fryer for that. You can cook white fish in your induction stove. I mean, it's so multifaceted, and you can even boil your oatmeal or your rice if you prefer, if you don't want to spend on a rice cooker, but those are so cheap. I mean, I have a rice cooker and a spare one just in case the first one breaks down or it's too dirty from its overuse, preparing so many meals in advance. So with the induction stove, you can make your steaks and your omelets nice and easy. And with the air fryer, I mean, you can make your chicken and your salmon as well. Even the white fish, you can go in there. You can prepare some of the vegetables in there also. Lately, I've developed a new fetish when it comes to my air fryer. I fill it with a boatload all the way to the brim, all the way to the top with kale leaves. Right, I shred that apart. Then I spray on a little bit of extra virgin olive oil with one of those sprays, literally 1 or 2 seconds. So that's maybe 1 to 2 grams of olive oil, 9 to 18 calories. Then I turn on the air fryer and it's crispy as f. Man, adding this to your omelet or some of your chicken meals, fantastic. Feel free to add a couple green beans on top of that. Also gets nice and crispy if you spray that with a little bit of olive oil before air frying. I do this for a multitude of different meals. Then I have salad vegetables at the end of the day. And there's no excuses. You can prepare this so fast, so easily. You can put the kale in an air fryer. You can put the salmon in an air fryer. You need 2 for those, obviously. You have 1 rice cooker with your rice, quinoa, beans, and pea combination with eggs and vegetables and meatballs at the top. And then all you need to do is cook your omelet in the morning. You see how easy it is? It's all done around the same time, right? By the time you finish your omelet, the rice mixture is done and the air fryer is certainly done. And all you need to do is partition that into Tupperware and get your day started. You can meal prep the entire day's worth of food in 30 to 45 minutes. No excuses. Go forth and make it happen. Okay, and to be fair, maybe you need a water heater to make your coffee or tea in the morning and maybe later in the afternoon as well. So that's 4 pieces of equipment that you need in the kitchen. That's it. If you want to go with a microwave to cook your oatmeal or, well, what else can you make in the microwave? Mama noodles. I don't think that's a suitable approach. But if you want to have a microwave, okay, that's 5. 5 pieces of equipment, 2 air fryers, preferably, right? So you can run them in parallel, 1 for your vegetables, 1 for your salmon. But it's really not that complicated. You can prepare all of the food that you need for the day in 30 to 45 minutes. You can do that right after the cardio, or maybe even turn that on when you do cardio, and then, well, you have to smell all that beautiful food while you're doing cardio. So this is not the way to do it. I do my fasted cardio first, like I mentioned in the previous video, and then I start meal prepping for the day. And by the time I finish my omelet, the rest of the food that I'm going to consume over the day is done. You can leave the salmon in the air fryer, let that marinate, let that sit there a little bit, let it absorb the condiments that you're using, right? The dry rub condiments. And then in the evening, you turn it on for 5 minutes and it's already there, ready to be consumed. So I hope this gives you some insight on how to meal prep, which food sources are suitable for you, and how to combine all of that into a nutritious day. And if you still want to go with Uber Eats, well, I wish I had a discount code for it, but I don't. So you're going to have to meal prep yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can find everything that I'm associated with down below in the YouTube description section. Did you ever see me promote a meal prep company? No, right? Or processed foods? No, right? Because I cook all my own fucking meals, like an adult should. Okay. You can find everything that I'm associated with down below in the YouTube description section. If you want to do your blood work, do that over at Merrick Health. They have excellent healthcare providers and patient care coordinators who can help you interpret your blood work results and get you on the fast track to absolute phenomenal health. Again, you're still going to have to cook all of your own meals. That's not a service that Merrick Health provides, but when it comes to blood work, they're the best in the biz. You can find all of my discount codes for Gorilla Mind, Intelligent Shop, and iHerb down below as well, in case you want to save yourself some money shopping online for the supplements, which we're going to discuss in the next lifestyle video. Vigorous crew, you guys know what to do. A home-cooked, meal prepped since 15 years old, frontable bicep for you guys. You won't look like this eating at Uber Eats or eating out all the time. I promise you. So start cooking, start growing, and start looking insane. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.